All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 2025 Bowling Ball Awards. We have a lot of people hopping in right now. Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. Got a lot of people hanging out in chat. We've got a nice little, beautiful little display for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the little bit of setup. This was a weekend project. But we are here for the 2025 Bowling Ball Awards. Tonight, what we are doing is we are using your guys' votes. Over 1,000 people voted for these awards. And we're going to showcase what balls win all of the categories around that way, around my face right now. Should be an amazing time. I might not be reading chat 100% like we do on our regular stream, so make sure to be aware of that. But we have a really, really fun setup tonight. So if you guys enjoy it, let me know. If anything sounds or looks weird, please let me know. We're going to talk about all these categories in detail, what you guys ended up voting for, probably why you guys ended up voting for them, etc., etc. But let's check out who's all hanging out in chat. We had a couple people out in the parking lot tailgating this event a couple of hours ago already. I believe that was sweet baby Jazzy B being the first one in chat. Jazzy B, what is going on? Yes, you are tailgating it. We got a lot of people hopping in though. Good evening to George, to Princey, to Johnny, to Billy, to CJ. Borda, what's up? George again. We have Aaron hanging out. Don is hanging out. Professor Turtle Guy, Mark, Don. We have Don a second time. Time to sip on that energy drink. Absolutely. IJ, we got a lot of people who are in the chat. We have, that's awesome. We have Fred using a hysteria in honor of the 2025 Ball Awards. So perfect. Good. We got Snake Abyssal. We got Bobby D. We got Larry Tripp. G. Bryant. Big B. So many people hanging out in chat. I'm glad you guys are here to join us. Sit down, grab a beverage, grab a snack, be ready for some really fun things. I've got a nice little agenda planned for us. So what we're going to do is we'll give a little bit of an introduction, a little bit of a monologue here, hang out a little bit. Then we're going to get into every single award, starting with the furthest one over there on the left with the best bang for your buck bowling ball. We'll go through all of them, and then we'll hit a couple of final things at the very, very end. We will talk about that one in that bottom right corner, which is going to be the ball of the year, the community choice ball of the year. And we'll go through the votes, see what you guys voted for. We had a lot of wild ones in there, so it should be super fun. Jake, do we have energy drink awards with this? Unfortunately, we do not. No energy drink awards this year. So I'm really hoping this event grows for next year. This is just something I personally got together. I didn't really try reaching out to any people or anything, but hopefully it's going to grow a little bit for next year. But with that, we might as well kick things off. So this year, we had a lot of really, really good bowling balls announced. We had a lot of great solid balls, a lot of great polished balls. And then we had a lot of bowling balls that ended up in your nearest river because they left too many corner pins. There's a lot of different balls that we have to talk about tonight. So unfortunately, you won't be hearing much of any urethane bowling balls tonight. Sorry. I know a Purple Hammer can win every single event in the world, but it can't win the Bowling Ball Award. So everybody over the age of 50, we're good to go. Don't have to worry. All the kids who only throw purples, sorry guys, they're not going to win anything tonight. The ball's just a little too old for that. Little bit too old for that. So like I said, I'm the only one running this show this year. Hopefully in future years, we can invite some more people and they can actually make it to this event. So right now, you're really not going to see Luke Rosdahl, Charles from The Hype, Ron Hicklin from Creating the Difference. Unfortunately, because of their Motive Apex Jackal reviews, they're locked up in Motive's factory right now. So if you guys can send some help for them to Muskegon, they just had a little too negative of reviews and Motive found them. So make sure to send thoughts and prayers their way for that. That poor Apex Jackal. Luckily, that ball is a 2026 ball. So next year, we're going to have a lot of fun things to say about that thing. It ain't looking good right now for that ball, unfortunately. Very, very sad. Lord Ragnar, this is interesting. What do you mean? I'm just dressing up a little bit for the occasion. We've got awards. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Going to be an absolute blast. So otherwise, we did try to invite all three ball companies to the award show. We would have loved for them to be able to present some awards, but it sounds like they were all arguing about who was most innovative. Motive talked about the power band when we were trying to get in discussions with them, and the other guys didn't like that much. Fun fact, power band technology is from 2005, not 2025. So something very interesting about that bowling ball. I didn't really realize that. But yeah, that was a little interesting of a thing to find. But otherwise, I think do we have pretty much everything? No, I think we're pretty much good. Lewis rolled a 266 with that apex. Yeah, he throws it like 14 miles an hour. So low ball speeds are going to like that apex. If you throw it anywhere above like 16, you're not going to like that ball. You need to be highly rev dominant to be able to like it. Absolutely highly rev dominant. But, you know, it is probably ball of the year. We did technically have 75 bowling balls released this year in 2025. And ironically, staffers called all 75 bowling balls ball of the year at some point. So our ball of the year race is going to be interesting. All of them should get one vote. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Let's go swag. I'm sorry, Co. There are no swag bowling balls that were mentioned. I believe there's one single vote for swag, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So unfortunately, that did not make it. Unfortunately, that did not make it. Motive has a dual density core. They do. It's awesome. It's going to be really cool to see. Going to be interesting to see what happens there. $230 ornament. Yeah, we're starting this off. We're starting this off talking about a 2026 ball. I love it. All right, let me make sure everything is good everywhere else. We got a lot of people hanging on over on TikTok. Perfect. We are going to be good to go. So we are only 8 minutes into this thing, but you know, let's start kicking it off already. Let's kick it off with our first bowling ball award. Remember, before we start, all of these categories, all of the bowling balls we mentioned were not chosen by me. You guys voted for these bowling balls to win. We did have nominees in a lot of these categories, just based on what everybody in the community was thinking. We had tried to have a little bit of common coverage from all the main brands. Unfortunately, Swag did not make that, and Pyramid did not make that, but the other brands did end up making it. So you're going to notice a lot of times there's going to be about 3 Brunswick balls, 3 Storm balls, and 2 Motive balls is usually the path that we go, depending on the category. Surprisingly, Motive didn't have any in the best bang for your buck category, as you can all expect. So you're going to see a lot of different bowling balls that are going to be mentioned tonight. We're going to be keeping track of these for future years. We're going to try to keep these categories available for the future. So it should be a really, really fun time. We still got some guys cycling in right now. I'm noticing the view number is still slowly climbing. So if you are new here, make sure to drop a subscription. We do things like this all the time on the channel. Otherwise, make sure to hit that like button if you're excited about all of these lovely awards that we're going to get into. Mark, if we disagree with a winner, do we crinkle our water bottles instead of booing? Yes, please do. Yeah, that would be fantastic. That is going to be the best way to be able to get me off my groove. Make sure to crinkle those water bottles. Yeah, I can't say the other part, can I? There is a video of that if you guys want to see it. Chris, what is my ball of the year? So you will see my bowling ball of the year in a couple of weeks in my top 5 videos. So all of the top 5 videos that are on the channel right now, you're seeing those are all my opinions just based on the entire community. So those were not voted on. Those were like more educated decisions on those from myself only. Now, the ones we're talking about tonight, all voted by you guys. Everything had nominees except for one category. Ball of the year was an open field, completely open field. Unfortunately, I think that caused a couple of people to not vote in that category, which is a little disappointing. We had over 1,000 votes in total, but I believe we only had about 600 in the ball of the year. So I think a lot of people ended up accidentally skipping that category. A little bit unfortunate there, but we did have over 600 people in that category. That one is an interesting field. We've got some winners, we've got some losers, we've got some fun options from people. There are some absolutely wild things in our ball of the year decisions. Some bowling balls from about 10 years ago, some balls from a couple of years ago. Some weren't even bowling balls. Some were just random objects that people use. So if you're using like a pineapple at your 10 pins, or if you're using it to comment on another YouTuber's in another YouTuber's comment section, absolutely go nuts. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. Drink of the day, by the way, for the award show. We're not getting too fancy. We didn't have any champagne. We just have Pepsi Wild Cherry. So Close enough. Ura, I know already what I was voting for. If I follow Andrew Anderson, you know which ball. I don't even know what he would pick. The Ion Pro was last year and discontinued now. Remember that, guys. Ion Pro, regular Ion Pro, completely discontinued right now. Very sad. Very, very disappointing to see. But with that, is there a category for hot garbage? There has to be one for being the best at being the worst. The Hype vs. Reality Award is that a little bit. Hype vs. Reality Award really focused on what balls got a ton of marketing, got a ton of hype into it, and then it just kind of sucked. And you're going to see the ball that won that one, it did kind of suck. Not the pineapple. What do you mean? It's not that old. People have forgotten about the pineapple at this point. Kind of. Not really. Never forget the pineapple. People don't forget things on the internet. People do not forget things on the internet. But with that, we're about 12 minutes in. My goal was 15, but we almost got there. We are going to start with category number 1. Remember, if you jump in late, you can always rewind the stream, or you can just check on this bottom row. We'll have the winner. So let's go. Number 1, best bang for your buck bowling ball. Maddie Nitro, thank you for the gift over on TikTok. Let's go over to our bowling ball. Best bang for your buck. We have our 6 bowling balls on the bottom screen right now. We have the Radical Outer Limits Solid, the One Ovation from Ebonite. We have the Hammer Bubblegum Vibe, the Max Thrill Hybrid, the Rotogrip Gremlin, and then the Hustles from Rotogrip, the Glow and or the Earth. We ended up picking both of them because they were a dual release. The Hustles always deserve a spot on Best Bang for Your Buck. They generally, for the last 10-ish years, have been just the greatest bang for your buck ball in bowling. But this time, we have 6 bowling balls that you guys voted for. A lot of different categories, too. We had a couple, of course, Brunswick's on here a lot because they are always the cheaper brand. The Radical Outer Limits Solid was $150 retail. Let me check. What did we have the lovely Ebonite One Ovation at? The One Ovation was 160 MSRP for one of the strongest asymmetrical balls on the market today. So really crazy to see that. We had the Bubblegum Vibe at $110, the Max Thrill Hybrid at $120. We had the Gremlin then at $165, which that one is a little bit tough, unfortunately. That was about the best bang for your buck for a reactive ball you could really get from Storm this year. They had a lot of more expensive bowling balls. But then, of course, the Hustles. You got to do the hustle. You got to have the hustle on there somewhere. So that is definitely a fantastic one to have. Now, looking at the votes, this winner was, there were 2 that really took the show this year for this category. There were 2 main bowling balls that won. The first one got almost 32% of the votes. The number 2 bowling ball got 28% of the votes. The rest of those options were really sorted out by the final 4. So I'm seeing a lot of people picking what they think are some of the best. Remember, these are not sale prices. If we wanted to go sale prices, I think the Deviate Mantra would be on there right now because that ball was $80 when I checked it earlier today. That was insane to me. But the winner of the best bang for your buck bowling ball with 31.7% of the votes with 312 votes is the Max Thrill Hybrid from Motive. The Max Thrill Hybrid ended up winning the most votes by a good amount. And I was a little surprised to see a Motive ball winning this one, but these Max Thrills really are that really good bang for your buck. This ball is on the edge between the weak and medium category. It is definitely the strongest entry/entry-ish level bowling ball out there. When I first threw this bowling ball, some of you might remember my video I had with Theo Johnson from Real Experience. This ball, I was just shocked at how much it hooked. It was just so strong, which was absolutely crazy. But it does deserve a spot. Yeah, the Ethan Fior ball, there are many championships already that this ball has won because usually entry-level balls don't win many championships. The Hustle has a world championship that I believe, I don't remember who it was. One of them, I think Matt O'Grady won a TOC with the Hustle Inc. a while ago. That was about the only time a Hustle has won. where the max throw has won a couple of times. So very, very cool to see. Now, looking at the other vote getters, we had the Bubblegum Vibe coming in second at 274 votes. 27.8% of the people that voted picked the Bubblegum Vibe. That was another fantastic option because that is a lot of bang for your buck. Now, this is not going to be the last time we see the Bubblegum Vibe. We're going to see it a little bit later in the best colorway of 2025. And then the Hustles actually did pretty well. The One Ovation took last place with only 52 votes. Brandon, thank you for sending 20 stars, by the way. Is buying closeout models worth it? For example, the Hustle BRY. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% it's worth it if you're, if you're grabbing some discontinued stuff. That's usually a good way to do it. Bowling Fool, fantastic YouTuber, actually only does that, and he finds some awesome sells. But looking at the other ones, Gremlin came in third place at 18.8%. It's not going to be the last time we see the Gremlin as well. You're going to see that in Best Original Logo in a couple of minutes. The Hustle Glow and Earth took next at 105. Fifth place was the Outer Limit Solid. Sixth place was the One Ovation. Radical and Ebonite not getting much love right off the bat. If you look at sales numbers for bowling balls, that's not the most surprising thing in the world. Hey, Prince, thank you so much for for becoming a member. Appreciate it. So let's put the Max Thrill Hybrid in our best bang for your buck. We have our first of 9 winners. Not surprising to see that ball is really well liked. I wish my colorway would have been a little better. Mine is like half the teal and half is purple. It's like they just shoved 2 halves together of colors, where I wish there would have been a little bit more swirl. That would have been really cool. But there we go. 1 down, 1 vote down. We have 8 more to go. Best bang for your buck is always a good one because as bowlers, we're always looking for a good deal. Unfortunately, you're not going to find that with a lot of the bowling balls that say like Motive comes out with that are asymmetrical, or even Storm comes out with that are asymmetrical. Brunswick tries to keep things a little bit lower. They're always the cheaper company, but they couldn't even win best bang for your buck. It's a little surprising, a little unfortunate, but we're going to see plenty of Brunswick stuff coming up. Balls discontinue so fast and go on sale. Absolutely. It's usually about 9 to 12 months before a ball gets discontinued, unless it's a real banger like the Attention Star or the Envy Tour or something like that. It usually takes about 9 to 12 months before you're going to see that ball go on sale. Now, some bowling balls that get discontinued don't go on sale and they sell out quickly. Shout out to the 900 Global Origin. I believe that was on sale for about 7 minutes before it fully got sold out. So a lot of the time, though, you can find a way to be able to buy a ball before it's gone forever. And Spareware, thank you for the Galaxy over on TikTok. Welcome, man. Great to have you here. Great to have you here. Next year, it's going to be the Danger Zone. The Danger Zones could make it. We remember our polls quit at November 30th. November 30th was the last day that a bowling ball could be entered. So the Phase 2 Pearl was actually the final ball that was released. That is included in all of our nominations. Anything after that, where you had all those Danger Zones, you had the Crown 78, the new Apex Jackal, the new Next Factor, those are not included for 2025. They are going to be included next year in 2026, when you're going to see this show in a full theater. Full theater. We'll have an orchestra behind me. It's going to be amazing. Typical bowler. I know it's not on the list up here, but thoughts on the Alert? Oh, the Alert is one of the best balls of the year. It's my #1 medium smooth ball of the year, personally. We'll see if it ends up winning any awards. I believe it was nominated for a couple. I believe it was nominated for best symmetrical bowling ball. So we'll see if we end up seeing that one. PC Danger Zone will be getting an award. An award period. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the Danger Zone does. I mean, there's a lot of time between now and next year. I mean, we had the Level and the Zen 25 release in January. I thought Zen was going to be up there for ball of the year. It didn't. I don't even know if it got many votes. I think it got less than 5 votes total. So a little disappointing on that front. Maniac Black Widow will be released beginning of the year. We'll take everything. Black Widows always will. 100% of the time, a Black Widow is going to be up there somewhere. We're going to see the Black Widow Mania in a couple of categories tonight, a couple of different categories. It's going to be very, very interesting. But you got to remember, too, sometimes this turns into a popularity contest. This is a fully democratic process. Everyone gets a vote. So you could just vote for your favorite brand and then be good to go. You could vote. Some people probably just went on, voted all Storm or all Motive or all Brunswick, called it a day. So that could have a little bit of an impact in all of these votes as well. The level disappointed Kai so much. It's a very love-hate ball. You either really like your level or it found its way into a dumpster within a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's about how that ball goes. But with that, should we go to option number 2? We go to category number 2. Number 2 category of the night, number 2 award is going to be the Best Colorway Award. The Best Colorway is going to go to one of these 8 bowling balls. We had a lot of options for the Best Colorway because there were a lot of great colors that came out. And a lot of this is very, very subjective. We have a pink ball. We have the all-white Jackal. We have the all-black Nebula. We've got things like the Cove that are a little brighter. We've got the all-solid blue and the Ion Pro Solid. Outer Limit Solid making its second cut of the night. Its second nomination now in Best Colorway. People adore the colorway of that Outer Limit Solid. Now, while the Outer Limits tends to puke out after about 50 games, it looks really cool when it doesn't. So there's a lot of really good bowling balls that are out there on the market. The companies have really amped it up this year based on the look of a lot of their bowling balls. I mean, if we look at the 8 nominations, these are all incredible looking bowling balls. So many good ones. So I do want to give big kudos to the ball companies for making some really bright colorways that still roll really well, unless your name is the Ricochet Return. That one we don't talk about. The other 7, though, roll pretty decent. So we have a lot of great options. The Cove colorway slaps, absolutely. I love my Cove colorway. I actually have it. You can see it right about there. It's a little more blue because of the lighting behind it, but it is a really, really good looking bowling ball. I'm very impressed by that and the Ember at the same time. Outer Limit Solid is the Taco Bell ball. Oh boy, I didn't even think of that. That's awesome. No way the Cove can win though from Born in 1500. Ooh. A lot of interesting choices. Yeah, I was excited to have the all white and the all black on here. Now, this one got a little bit crazy. I'm going to be honest. This voting way got very, very crazy. ZVL plant the Outer Limits Solid. Nah, I didn't plant any of this. Nah, I didn't like that Outer Limits. I thought it was a bad ball, but it looked cool. And it was a good bang for your buck. It's a lot of ball for $160. But if we look at Best Colorway now, the winning one of this category only got 19% of the votes, 190 votes out of 983 total responses for this one. There really was only one ball that got completely dumped on. So I do want to mention the losing ball first. That is the Ricochet Return. The Ricochet Return got the least amount of votes in almost any category in this one at 33. It got 33 total votes. Kind of crazy. But what do we have for our ball of the year? It was a close race. I believe it was 20. No, it was 5 votes separated first place from second place. Wow. And this one was a shocker to me. This one was a big shocker to me. So without further ado, the best colorway of 2025 goes to the Ion Pro Solid. This one was crazy to me. Congratulations to the Ion Pro Solid winning its first bowling ball award of the year. It's on for multiple different nominations coming up, but absolutely crazy that the all blue bowling ball ended up winning colorway of the year. Really, really surprising on this front. Let's go through a couple of the other numbers. At 18.8% of the votes, 185 votes, losing by 5 was the Jackal EJ. So the Jackal EJ got very, very close, but the Ion Pro Solid ended up winning it out by 5 total votes. Really, really crazy. Coming in right after that one is the Bubblegum Vibe. The pink is always tough. Now, I have heard from people in the industry and from like ball companies too, that pink bowling balls either do really well or they don't sell any at all. It's a very hit or miss. Ooh, we got a lot of people who are not happy about this. I am very sorry. I can't show you guys because you can see the next numbers, but I will show you after we're done here. I'll go through the entire Google response list so that you guys can see exactly what the vote numbers were. But the Ion Pro Solid ended up winning colorway of the year. Absolutely crazy. Bubblegum Vibe was next with 143. 140 votes was actually the Outer Limit Solid. Coming in next at 11.7 was the Cove. Right behind it was the Ember at 101. Then the Nebula with only 76 votes for the Nebula. I thought an all-black bowling ball was going to win this, but surprisingly, it just hasn't. And then, like I said, the Ricochet Return coming in dead last with 3% of the votes at 33 total votes. Early April Fool's joke. Guys, I'm just looking at the votes right now. Yeah, I think the clean and simple. You'd be surprised. A lot of bowlers don't like the big wild colorways. They like the very basic. I see someone crinkling their water bottle aggressively already. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules, but that is how it was. The industry plant beat the co from Peyton. Oh, it is not an industry plant. Yeah, that is a little. This one shocked me. This was the most surprising of all of the different categories. So let's go back to the main screen. Let's put on our Ion Pro Solid for our best colorway of the year. Like I said, the Ion Pro Solid is going to appear as a nominee for the best asymmetrical bowling ball, and I believe that's all it gets. Yes, it is not making it for anything else. It cannot win best original logo because the Ion Pro did it back in 2024. So that is going to be the next category, or actually, no, yes, it will be the next category. But let's talk about that one a little bit. There's a lot of negativity in the comments about this one. This is a little surprising. We got a lot of people saying colorways are really good. We have a lot of people who are thinking that I rigged the votes, which is kind of funny. This is awesome. These voters need to see the ball in person, much different than the pictures. That's always a tough thing as well, because the ball is a little bit lighter in person. Abe, the Academy is crazy. Hey, this was voted on by the people. This was a people's choice vote. This wasn't even the Academy. Don't worry, if it was the Academy, that ball would not have won. My vote actually went towards the Cove. I thought the Cove was the best looking ball of the year because I did end up voting in this poll first. Like out of everything, I voted for what I think would win, just because it'd be weird if I didn't vote as well. But I ended up voting for the Cove, so I was a little surprised by that one. That's the worst colorway to me. Holy cow. I love Storm, but I like that over the Ember of the Cove. Pretty color, but it's solid. Man, we got a lot of people just not actually excited about this. That's crazy. The people be high, great looking ball, worst ball scent. I don't even know what the scent of the Ion Pro is, or Ion Pro Solid. Let me check quick. Ion Pro Solid is coming in still at $200, which is insane, but it is coming in with Blueberry Donut. What? I haven't actually, I have smelled it in person. It was good. I'm a big fan of Blueberry though. I'm a big fan of Blueberry. I see I'm out of focus. I think we're good now. I think it'll be good. It'll probably be bad once I keep switching between screens. The Cove is too overwhelming. Lethal Chris, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it, man. But this is interesting. This is very interesting. Bowling with Matt wants a recount. That's the best part about Google Forms. I can hit the refresh button as many times as I want and it doesn't change unless 5 random votes magically come in for the EJ, in which it would be a tie, which we did not have a tie this year. I was really worried about that. I didn't know what we would do with a tie. I had no idea what the choice was, but luckily we didn't have it. I think we got one within 3 votes last time I checked, which is going to be coming up in just a little bit. I don't know if it changed though. But wow, Wild Cherry Pepsi is so good. All right. Well, with that, that's 2 awards down. I see there's a lot of hit or miss on what people think about that one. But I think the number 3 award is really going to take it home for some people. This one was pretty fun. This one was honestly a completely dominant showing. Absolutely dominant showing on this next one. So let's go to the best logo of 2025. Like I said, this is original logos only. So no old bowling balls could win. So for example, the example I always like to use is a stealth mode. The stealth mode couldn't win because the original stealth came out in 2022. So the design of the stealth logo already came out a long time ago. What we have here though, Deviate Dark Side in the number 1 spot right now, not for winner, but in the farthest left spot. The Deviate Dark Side pulling in a little bit of a Star Wars reference, so the nerds out there might really like that one. The Radical Evil Eye. A lot of people love the red logo and like the all black and red, but mainly that red logo of the Evil Eye. People really, really liked it, so it did deserve a nomination. I know Phil is out there somewhere like high-fiving the closest person because his evil eye ended up making it on here. Congratulations. We'll talk about this ball a little bit later. We talk about the best symmetrical ball, and that one will be interesting. But then the Motive Nebula is on here as well with the Storm Equinox and then the Roto Grip Gremlin. Now, the reason the Nebula is on here, because Motive had one original logo come out in 2025. That was it. They had one logo come out that was not used in the past. Like, you had the Supra, you had the Jackal, you had the Evoke Hysteria, you had things like the Max Thrill Hybrid. Every single ball they had was technically a successor. This was the only original ball, so like it or not, the Nebula was going to make it. And it is a good logo, don't get me wrong. It's a really cool branding and all that, but the only one. Otherwise, Storm Equinox coming in, and then the Roto Grip Gremlin. Gremlin was coming out a little bit before Halloween time, which was perfect timing. And I know a lot of people really like that Roto Grip Gremlin logo. They love that idea. The amount of times the Gremlins movie was brought up when that ball was coming out was sky high. It was insane how many people wanted to bring up the Gremlin movie at that time. But with all of that, what is the winner with 43.6% of the vote? 431 votes out of 989. This was an absolute runaway. What are you guys thinking? It's trying to see if there's any ideas. The Motive Ascend is new. Technically, the Ascend was new. But that one was weird because the ball was announced back in like 2024, but then it only released like 8 months later. The tariff situation caused it to get stuck overseas for quite a while. So that one was a little bit tough. But winner of Best Original Logo and Branding for the 2025 Bowling Ball Awards is going to be the Roto Grip Gremlin. Coming in with the win. The Roto Grip Gremlin came in, like I said, 43.6% of the votes, absolutely dominated the rest of the competition. And this one makes a lot of sense to people. The Gremlin movie, like I mentioned, was brought up so many times. And this logo is actually pretty sick. Storm did a lot of really cool things with this. They had a really cool logo on their main page where they actually had the Gremlin putting a Black Widow into some stew, a little bit of a jab at Brunswick. I don't know if anyone at Brunswick saw that, but it was kind of entertaining. I don't know if it was on purpose, but it kind of looked like it. Seb, thank you for the subscription. Really appreciate it. But let's go through the other vote winners. So what came in second? Ooh, there was a close. It was only 3 votes between second and third place. Second place, though, comes in with the Storm Equinox, actually. The Equinox comes in at second place. The space themes always do well because third place, another space theme in the Motive Nebula. So Storm and Motive took the first, second, and third place slots. Fighting for that next slot was the Evil Eye, 150 votes, 15.2% of the votes. Then coming in last was the Deviate Dark Side with 65 votes. That one was shocking. Absolutely shocking. I thought the Dark Side would actually be up there on this one. I thought people would really like that design, but unfortunately it just didn't get any love. Very disappointing. I don't know if that's because Deviate isn't very popular right now, or if that's because people just didn't like the Star Wars reference, if there's not as many nerds in the bowling universe as there are in others. Let's go back to the main screen and let's put the Gremlin as our best logo and branding. That is 1/3 of the votes are done for the night. We're about 30 minutes in. We've got 6 more votes and a little bit of a surprise halfway through the vote going to be able to show you guys, which is a little bit of a fun one. I'm waiting for the Gremlin Gizmo Solid and expected Evil Eye to run this one. I was a little surprised. I know when the Evil Eye came out, a lot of people, when I asked them, like, why did you buy this ball? Did you? Because I was really trying to pinpoint when the Evil Eye came out, why is it so popular? When I ran a poll on my YouTube, I think we got about 1,500 votes, and the Evil Eye actually was first place on all the Brunswick balls at the time. It crushed everybody. First time a Radical ball ended up taking first in any of our polls. So I was really asking around, why do people like the Evil Eye? What do you really like about that ball? There was a lot of them who were like, I love the logo. I love the logo. I love the color of the logo. It looks awesome. That was the only reason I bought. I didn't care what it did. I just loved that logo. So kind of cool, kind of surprising to see, but kind of cool nonetheless. I respect that. I respect if you buy your bowling balls for your color, for the logo, for the scent, for the performance, whatever it may be, whatever floats your boat. But a little bit crazy for that one. But next category is another really fun one. All of these categories are super fun. Thank you, Don, for the follow. Really appreciate it. But we have the biggest sleeper ball of the year. So The biggest sleeper ball of the year, before we step into it, this is a bowling ball that I categorize as one that did not get much love, did not get many sales, maybe is already discontinued, but was actually a phenomenal bowling ball performance-wise. It just didn't get any love in the sales department or in the advertising department, which can happen a lot for bowling balls that just don't really get much love. Some of the examples right now, like you see that 900 Global Viking, you don't see it that often. That is considered a sleeper bowling ball. But let's look at the nominees for the biggest sleeper ball 2025. Here we have 7 different bowling balls making it for the biggest sleeper of 2025. We have 3 Brunswick balls, 2 Motive, and 2 Storm bowling balls. The tough thing here is that Motive and Storm don't really have as many sleepers because they really only have 1 ball coming out at a time. Storm switched their marketing this year. They used to release 2 to 3 at the same time. However, now Storm is just releasing 1 at a time, 1 ball only, and that's it. They release 1, they wait about a month, release another, so on and so on. Like right now, we just have the Next Factor. Before that was just the Phase 2 Pearl. Before that was the, it was the Viking. And then it was the Amped and Gremlin and so on. But let's look at a few of these bowling balls. Starting on the left side with our Brunswick bowling balls. Kicking it off is the Ebonite Entity. This ball is so slept on that it is already on sale only a couple months after it released. I believe it was on sale within 3 months because nobody cared about this bowling ball. It was surprising that that ball was just so disliked, and just not disliked, but just no one cared about it. No one cared about that ball at all. Really strong, shiny, asymmetrical ball. The few guys that I know that have it really do like it. They really love how strong it is in the mid lane, which is good to see for an Ebonite ball. Ebonite makes some good options. Oh, I did misspell it. There we go. Entity. The Entity. Then the Brunswick Combat coming in second. This was actually on my top 5 strong and sharp balls of the year. This one slept on. This is Brunswick's version of the Evoke Hysteria. The reactions of the Evoke Hysteria and the Combat are fairly similar. And this is really Brunswick's version of that of that stronger, but yet quick enough down lane motion. Still smoother, but quicker than a lot of the solid balls out there. Coming in next, we had to put the Entity Pearl in here next because it just like its dad in the original Entity, nobody cared about it. It was known beforehand. I don't know if there was a ball review of that thing within a week of its announcement because all the ball reviewers knew nobody would care about it, nobody would garner sales. Now, a couple of them really liked the ball, but didn't release the reviews until much later, and the number of views on those are minimal. I know for me personally, I don't think my TikTok on it got over 1,000 views. And that's very surprising for a ball review like this. So a little bit disappointing on that front. Moving on to Motive, the Primal Ghost is on here because this ball didn't get any love, which was odd. I thought this was going to be a really hyped up ball. A lot of people seemed really excited, but the minute it released, nobody talked about this ball again. All of the Motive staffers just quit talking about it. And then all the guys who were talking about beforehand just kind of stopped when it released, which is a little surprising. And I haven't really heard much about it since. So a little bit surprising, but that ball is definitely a sleeper. And then the Max Thrill Hybrid just came out at an awful time. It came out in, I believe, April of this year. April is usually the start of when bowling ball sales start declining. So the Max Thrill Hybrid didn't get as much love as it could have. Moving on to the Storm bowling balls, we have the Rockstar Amped and the Viking. Now, the big reason for these two, why they're on the list, the Rockstar Amped, is because the Phase 2 Pearl came out a month later. So right now, the Rockstar Amped is not getting many sales because the Phase 2 Pearl came out. And then the Viking actually, that one's interesting. The Viking did not get much love because before it even was released, the Phase 2 Pearl was announced. So you can blame the Phase 2 Pearl for those two being sleeper balls. Timmy, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'll super chat 50 if you give away a spare ball like an axe or your choice. Sorry, man, no giveaways tonight. No giveaways tonight. But let's look, and this one again was very, very close. I see some people did not like the Primal Ghost. Some people really like the Primal Ghost. Ironically, there's someone on TikTok who said, love my Primal Ghost, Josh. And then Melts over on YouTube said Primal Ghost with a puking face. Kind of crazy. But let's look at what the votes look like for this one. There was a okay, this one ended up being a 5-vote margin. So I actually had to put both bowling balls in my thing because I didn't know which one would win. The other ball was actually winning until it must have been a couple of hours ago that a couple of votes slipped in and ended up taking the place. But 21.9% of the votes came in for this bowling ball. And the sleeper ball of the year is the Rotogrip Rockstar Amped. The Rockstar Amped was completely ignored after about a week of it being out because of future ball releases. So unfortunately, that one did not garner much attention, but it is loved by a lot of people. I know for me, selfishly, I've thrown 800 and 300 with this ball. When I did my review for it, when Storm sent me a couple of balls to review, I ended up shooting 300 with it in the ball review itself. I think I had 20 of 21 strikes for a while there. It just struck from absolutely everywhere. But that was bowling ball of the year on the sleeper side. Brady is over. Brady and TikTok promotion is the best Facebook marketplace ball. We did not have a Facebook marketplace ball, unfortunately. I thought you'd like the entity on here, though, Brady. You're one of 3 people that I know that has an entity. But Steven, I can see that. Absolutely. High Road. Unfortunately, the High Road was released way too long ago to be actually on here. Read the first part of my last text, Timmy. You will super chat 50 if I know you'll super chat 50 if you give away a spare ball. Sorry, man. We're not giving anything away. We got to do some extra different options if you give stuff away over on social media so that you're not messing with people. But the Rockstar Amped ended up being first. Of course, the Phase 2 Pearl really basically made the Rockstar Amped useless. Those two bowling balls are nearly identical. Every single review you see of the Rockstar Amped and the Phase 2 Pearl, every single one of them says, well, I mean, they're pretty much a board apart is about what everybody says about those bowling balls. So kind of unfortunate. But coming in second was the 900 Global Viking. I think that ball is being more slept on because it didn't even get love once it released. The ball is excellent. The ball is really good. I'm a huge fan of it. But unfortunately, the Phase 2 Pearl made everybody ignore the Viking. That was a very unfortunate choice by Storm in that front. So hopefully we don't see that again in the future. But yeah, Rick Mitchell, 299 and 794 with the amped out of box. Crazy numbers. Absolutely crazy numbers. But let's see. Coming in next was the Primal Ghost, actually. So there is a little bit of love for the Primal Ghost out there in third place, 160 votes, about 48 votes behind the Viking. Coming in fourth place was the Max Thrill Hybrid. Fifth place was the Combat. Sixth place was the Entity. And then the Entity Pearl with a whopping 26 out of 971 votes. So I don't know if that's because nobody cares about it or nobody even knows the ball exists. One or the other. The Entity line just has zero love out there. A little bit unfortunate. VO, the price point on the Viking is a bit steep compared to the Rockstar Amped, 100%. Yeah, the Amped is about 170. I bet we're going to see it on sale sooner rather than later, and the Viking is at 200 yet. A little bit unfortunate on that front, but we did have the Rockstar Amped as our #1 biggest sleeper ball of the year. Let's go back to the main screen. Let's put the Rockstar Amped where it belongs as one of our Bowling Ball Award winners, winning award #4. Congratulations to the Rockstar Amped. Right now, Storm has taken a commanding lead with 3 wins, and then Max Thrill Hybrid gets Motive on the map with 1, and Brunswick has yet to garner a Bowling Ball Award, but we'll see if that changes with a couple of the other options that are going on. Balrog can't watch the whole stream, but will you make a short video recapping? So yeah, this stream will actually save, so you can watch the entire thing back if you want. Otherwise, we will try making a shorter version sometime in the next couple of weeks. I'm a numbers nerd, so I'm going to be really excited to go through all these numbers and be able to present them in a different way to you guys. It's going to be really fun in the near future. But that was already 4 of our awards. I'm going to run, I'm not able to run that. Okay. Well, coming up next is going to be, let's see. Yes, we're going to have one more, and then we'll have the little bit of a break in the action. But coming up next is going to be the Hype versus Reality Award. The Hype versus Reality Award takes a little bit of description. So this is an award where a bowling ball that gets a ton of love and a ton of attention before the ball releases, and then it just peters out. Then nobody cares about it within a couple weeks after it releases. Now that's normal for the bowling ball world. Shout out everybody who's reviewing bowling balls where you don't really hear about a ball right after it releases. You always have to go to the next best thing. But it's going to be interesting to see what wins this. This is more of like a worst of award compared to a best of. The first four were best ofs. The hype versus reality really is the worst bowling ball, the one that got the most love without doing much. Tyran, Storm with the money under the table playbook, which is ironic that you say that because yesterday I got called a Brunswick shill 3 different times in 3 different comment sections. Kind of crazy how that happened. But Hayden, what's going on over on TikTok? How you doing, man? We have the hype versus reality award coming up next. So let's go over to that without further ado. We are going then to these 6 bowling balls, hype versus reality. We have the hammer maximum effect and the Brunswick ethos solid. The max effect being a hammer ball got a lot more of that love and attention early on. And then the ethos solid also did. However, these balls just really aren't taking much right now. It really aren't doing a whole lot. Then we have the Raptor Rain and the Lethal Venom for Motive. The Lethal Venom had a hot start. Michael Davidson broke the scoring record with it. And then the ball just kind of went bleh. A lot of people realized, man, this thing's way too smooth for almost any pattern that you bowl on minus the super short. So it really didn't get much love after that, even though it is a Venom ball. Raptor Rain was called Ball of the Year by at least 2 different ball reviewers, which is insane because nobody cares about the Raptors anymore or ever did. The Raptors were arguably Motive's worst line in the last couple of years. They're such strong asymmetrical bowling balls that they just didn't have that much use, which was a little disappointing. But then from Storm, we have the 900 Global Ember. This was definitely a dud. The Cove and the Ember didn't get much love. However, the Cove has had a little more success in the mainstream. That one has actually won a few things, has a few more honor scores, whereas the Ember doesn't. The Ember was weird. It's a low differential, weaker ball. However, it rolls really, really forward, which is the opposite of what you want from that one. And then we have, what'd you say? The logo is way too big on the RR. The logo was massive on that ball. And then finally, we have the Storm Physics Blackout. The Physics Blackout was the December 2024 release. It was a brand new physics. It was the first physics we had since the Infinite Physics, which was really well loved by a lot of people. Not on tour, but outside of tour, people really, really liked the Infinite Physics. The Physics Blackout, they ended up putting the AI core on, which made it flare way, way more. So I actually am just plugging my Physics Blackout, ironically. My Ember is going to be getting plugged very soon, but I haven't thrown the other 4. I have thrown the Lethal Venom. I hated it. It was really bad on a house shot, but the other 3 balls I have not actually thrown. So I wasn't really sure where this one was going to end up. But let's see. What did the votes end up looking like for these beautiful bowling balls? We had, no, that one, that category. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Number 1 vote getter ended up getting 27.4% of the votes out of 978 responses, 268 total for this bowling ball. Then after that, it's a very close race between a lot of others. I'm a little surprised at the one that got last place, but let's see. It's an odd pearl being all black and dull. And the Physics Blackout was weird too because it wasn't, yeah, it's a pearl, but it came out at 2000 grit. Very odd. But what is our hype versus reality award winner? Technically the worst bowling ball in this list. The winner / loser of this award is the Physics Blackout. The Physics Blackout coming in as a dull pearl, really weird bowling ball. Some people adore it. Most people really, really hated it and got rid of it as soon as they could. The ball was on sale by the summer, which was surprising for a Storm ball. Only about 6 months later, this ball was already not looking too hot. Ironically, I don't remember if it's discontinued. I believe it is now officially discontinued. But this ball came in 268, 27% of the votes. Coming in second place was the Max Effect. Not surprisingly, the Max Effect is so weird because they released it. They finally got a strong effect. And then they released the Zero Mercy within like a month and a half. So that was a very odd one. The Max Effect, it got about 0 love for the community because they pushed the Zero Mercy solid out so quickly. And that ball is actually really, really good. Very kind of surprisingly, kind of unsurprisingly. But then coming up third place was the Ember. That one makes sense. Then we had the Lethal Venom with 130 votes. We had the Raptor Rain at 107 and the Ethos Solid at 104. So the Ethos Solid was actually the least disliked bowling ball on this list, which is a little surprising. I know if you watch Luke Rosdahl at all, who's currently, like I said, locked up in Motive's factory for his negative review on the Apex Jackal, He hates this ball with a passion. I think this seemed like his least liked bowling ball of 2025. I think he does his own personal award thing, so I think he might mention that. I don't know when. I think that's coming up soon or happened last night. So make sure to go check out Luke if you haven't. Awesome YouTuber. But the physics blackout winning the hype versus reality award. Let's go back to the main screen quick and put this one on the pedestal, or more in the dumpster more than anything. But the physics blackout there with the hype versus reality award coming in the number 5 award of the night. We're over halfway done, guys. 55%, 56% of the way done with our award show for the night at about the hour mark. Remember, if you're enjoying your time here, if you're having fun, make sure to drop a like, make sure to drop a subscription. It's the best way to help out YouTubers, TikTokers, whoever it may be. It's completely free for you. You can stay up to date for any of our latest and greatest videos, and it can help me push out more of this cool content, try to spend a little bit more time on fun things like this. But with that, I do want to take it to our special surprise of the night. Well, this is an award show, so we have to pay tributes to some of our fallen ones of 2025. This is a show about bowling balls, and as we all know, there's a lot of bowling balls that leave us every single year. So with that, I do want to take it to our in memoriam of the bowling balls that we've lost in 2025. I don't have any music for this part because of copyright reasons, so just pretend like you have like Arms of an Angel playing in the background right now as we go through some of these sad bowling balls. First one of the list, the 900 Global Origin, gone too soon. November of 2024, didn't make it a year to early November of 2025. Such a sad loss, especially for the Barnes family, because this was their bowling ball. This thing was special. And unfortunately, Storm took it far too soon. May it rest in peace. Sticking with 900 Global is the final ball in the Zen lineup. The Zen 25, not even making it 12 months. Not even close. Being released in 2025 and discontinued also in 2025. This might be the last Zen ball we see for a very long time. This was a remake, but they put the AI technology in this ball, and that just did not make it as good as its brethren in the past, as its ancestors. May the Zen 25 also rest in peace alongside the Origin. Sticking with Storm, this one's an old one, but you can't forget it. The IQ Tour Ruby. The IQ Tour Ruby was the last Pearl IQ we've seen. Now the IQ AI took its spot, new core, hybrid cover, just not as good as the old Ruby. The Ruby and the Emerald both were masterpieces in everybody's heart. Very sad to see this ball go. It made it over 2 years in the lineup. We are all very much anticipating the IQ Tour Sapphire whenever that releases, because we've had the Ruby, we have the Emerald, and as Pokemon and Nintendo showed us, the Sapphire has to also fit in this holy trinity. May the IQ Ruby rest in peace. A big one that is very bad logo, because apparently my image did not want to render all the way, is the Rotogrip Attention Star. The Attention Star made it over a year and 10 months, and this ball was loved by so many people. A lot of high scores. This was the two-hander ball of choice. This ball sold out instantly when it got announced that it was getting discontinued, but it is officially gone. May the Attention Star rest in peace. Moving on to the Brunswick brands, we did lose the tour ball, the best tour ball of the last couple of years, in the Envy Tour. This ball made it over 3 years in the lineup. And when this one went, we did have the Effect Tour to take its place, but it is not the same. The Envy Tour was a tournament bowler's ball of choice. It was such a great piece, but unfortunately just could not make it through the onslaught of 2025. This one is a personal blow to my heart. This one hurts. I have cried over this one many times. The Scorpion Low Flare was my favorite ball of 2024 personally, and it made it just slightly over a year, but it could not make it again through the onslaught, the purge that Brunswick offered or happened in March of 2025. Brunswick got rid of 18 bowling balls all at the same time, and the Scorpion Low Flare could not make it through the cut. If you can find a Low Flare, let me know. This ball's awesome. May it rest in peace. Hammer Effect is a recent one, a recent departure. This was one of the best new lines that Hammer has brought out in a very long time. The Hammer Effect was a 4-colored bowling ball. I believe that was the first that Hammer came out with, at least what they said. It was a fantastic logo, fantastic colorway, fantastic reaction. Unless your name was Luke Rosdahl again, then this ball was beloved by so many people. It was used on tour. It was used on house shots, used on tournaments. It was used everywhere. Hammer Effect, gone, now replaced by the Maximum and the Special, to hopefully keep the Effect line running. And the Effect Tour isn't even close to this ball. It doesn't even have the same cover or anything. So we can ignore that one. Going on to Motive, the beach ball is really one of the bigger losses that Motive fans have had. They didn't have many bowling balls leave this year that were very good, but the Evoke is one of them, making it 1 year and 6 months. Now, the best thing about this ball is it gave us the Evoke Hysteria, which is a potential Ball of the Year candidate for a lot of people, where the Evoke was really good. People did not like the colorway that much, unfortunately. Very, very sad. But the beach ball did get some love by some guys on tour, especially some hack named DJ Tackett. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. I personally haven't. He was new. Must be an up-and-comer. I really have high hopes for that guy. But he threw the Evoke and liked it, and the Evoke is now gone forever. And then a Pearl Jackal, possibly the best Pearl Jackal we'll have for a couple of years, in the Crimson Jackal. The Crimson Jackal made it almost 2 years. It was removed to make way for the brand new Apex Jackal. However, their reactions are night and day different. The Crimson might go down as the best Pearl Jackal of the last 10 years, while the Apex Jackal gets love by anybody who is on a contract with Motive, but not really by many other people, unfortunately. We'll see how it ends up going. But the Crimson Jackal going away was a very sad one. May it rest in peace. I hope you guys enjoyed our show. I hope you guys enjoyed our in memoriam. We're not done, by the way, by our show, but that is the bowling balls we've lost this year. Please press F to pay respect to all of our fallen soldiers. There were a lot of great ones. But with the death of these bowling balls comes life. Comes a lot of life, especially with a lot of really, really good bowling balls. So to bring us, back to a good, hyped, excited front, we need to go to a big award. We are going to go to the best asymmetrical bowling ball of 2025. This is a big category, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second/third largest category that we are going to talk about tonight. The best asymmetrical bowling ball is going to be really interesting. We have a lot of certified bangers on this list, a lot of really, really good pieces, and the votes were unsurprising, but also kind of crazy for this one. This one had 991 total responses. And look at all of these beautiful bowling balls. This is an asymmetrical arsenal in and of itself. But let's go through every single one. I need to make sure TikTok doesn't get kicked off. There we go. We got to go through every one quick. We have the Black Widow Mania coming in first. This is a Pearl asymmetrical Black Widow. Of course, this ball is going to get love. It's a Black Widow with HK22C. This was the easiest no-brainer that Hammer has ever had, that Brunswick ever had. It was just, you have gold, let's push gold together and make super gold. Kind of. Then, the Track Theorem Solid. This one was a little bit of a sleeper, but the Theorem was the best ball of 2024, according to many people, including me. Where the Theorem Pearl was not good. Theorem Pearl did not get love, but the Theorem Solid came out, was actually very good. This was a really good house shot ball. You heard about this one in our top 5 medium smooth bowling balls. Coming up next, the Black Widow Tour V1, another Black Widow. The Black Widows are always going to be the best asym balls. The Tour V1 was a unique one. It was a hybrid, low differential asymmetrical ball. Very, very good ball down from something like the Effect Tour or that Envy Tour that we just talked about that is now resting in peace. Moving on to Storm, 3 bowling balls. We have the Ion Pro Solid. This one speaks for itself. This is one of the best balls of the year. Unfortunately, its price point is super high. This ball is loved by a lot of people, especially league bowlers. It is just a quicker Ion Pro, which is a great option because the Ion Pro is pretty well liked. RST Hyperdrive Pearl coming in next was a very, very good ball as well. Not as much love, surprisingly, but this is the best ball in that general category. This is generally better than a Gremlin. It is better than a lot of the other balls that are in that range. This was pretty much the newer version of an attention star. This ball was supposed to take the place of the star, and it did a pretty good job at that. Rotogrit Gremlin, we've talked about a lot already. The Gremlin was loved by a lot of people. It was actually a top 5 selling bowling ball for most of the last half of the year. I believe it was top 3 in some places as well if you weren't a full Brunswick shop. Evoke Hysteria coming in next. Everybody loves the Evoke Hysteria. This thing crushed the PBA Tour. This thing crushed league patterns. A lot of you out there actually have Evoke Hysterias and you adore your Evoke Hysteria. So unsurprisingly, it had to make it. And then the final one is the best ASIM solid in my opinion, of the year in the Jackal Onyx. This was easily the best solid Jackal we've had since the Jackal Ghost. That ball was incredible for being a big, strong Jackal. The Jackals have sucked as big, strong solids for a long time. The Onyx came in and actually was pretty decent, which was good to see. Yeah, we have a lot of great logos on here as well. I'm seeing a lot of people coming out voting for the Evoke Hysteria. Hey, Neo, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. We got a couple for Ion Pro Solids. We got a lot of people throwing a lot of love out there for these guys. I see Alan, YouTube told me they were all ball of the year. Oh, 100%. Yeah, all of these were ball of the year too. Like I said at the beginning, 75 balls came out. I bet all 75 were called ball of the year by a staffer at some point in time. You know, everyone loves their favorite staffer out there. But who's the winner? Who wins this category? The best asymmetrical ball. Let's see. This one was a runaway. There was no close vote here. This was very much run away by who a lot of you are expecting. But the rest of the votes are a little interesting. So we're going to go through every single one. But to end it, the best asymmetrical ball of 2025, according to all of you beautiful people watching, is the Evoke Hysteria. Unsurprisingly, the Evoke Hysteria, which dominated so many different things, dominated the World Series of Bowling, dominated the PBA Tour, and has dominated your local leagues, has won Asymmetrical Ball of the Year by a very large margin. It took 318 total votes of the 991. Outside of that, coming in second was only 164 votes. It was only a little over half the votes the Evoke Hysteria got was the Ion Pro Solid. Right behind that, very close, within 7 votes. No, sorry, within 3 votes was the Black Widow Mania. Black Widow Mania very close in third place. People love their Black Widows. It's always the best-selling ball of the year. I guarantee you're going to hear the Black Widow Mania is the best-selling ball of 2025. Coming in after that, we have the, let's see, 9.2% was the Hyperdrive Pearl. Little bit sad to see that ball didn't get more love than it did. Fantastic ball. Highly recommend if you're looking for a weaker asymmetrical ball out there. Coming in next, Black Widow Tour V1. This one's kind of getting ignored right now. I think it's just because of Brunswick's new cycle of releasing things, so a little bit disappointing. Then coming in after that was the Jackal Onyx, then the Gremlin, and with 42 votes was the Theorem Solid. But overall, these are all really good winners. What we're going to talk about pretty much for the rest of the show are some bowling balls that I highly recommend if you're looking for new balls. If you're looking for just ones that are universally loved, these 8 bowling balls are universally loved out there. There's, like I said, 75 balls came out this year. There's probably about 100 on the market. If you're looking for an ASIM of any kind, solid, pearl, hybrid, whatever it may be, these are 8 bowling balls that I would recommend to anybody. I have recommended these to people in the past. I get like 5 to 15 DMs a day asking what bowling ball people should get. And I have recommended at least one of these balls many, many, many times in the past. So unsurprising with the results, but overall, these are some fantastic nominees. This is like a Best Picture award to a certain degree, where like everything on here is gold, except for the movie where it's like a mermaid or a water person. And you guys remember that Best Picture year. I think it was Way of Water, not Way of Water. That was the Avatar movie. Whatever it was. Yuri, do y'all not like the Evil Eye? The Evil Eye is a symmetrical ball technically, so that one is not on our best asymmetrical ball list. You will see it as a nominee for the best symmetrical ball though. You are going to see it on there, but remember the Evil Eye, it is still technically symmetrical based on the charts, based on what Radical says, so we go off of that, even though it is the least symmetrical ball on the market. I've heard nothing about the Track Theorem Solid since its release. I know, it's It was really good. People really liked it at the time, but yeah, it just ran into the Brunswick chainsaw of just too many releases at the same time. The Theorem Solid, though, was really, really good. That ball has been phenomenal for a lot of people. One I would highly recommend. I'll probably be picking one up sometime sooner rather than later because I kind of want a reaction like that in my bag. But with that, let's go back to the main screen. Let's put the Evoke Hysteria where it belongs in the best asymmetrical bowling ball category, as expected from a lot of people. Now, we don't have best symmetrical ball quite yet. We got to have a little bit of a break in there, guys. We got to have a little bit of a break for you guys to go hit that subscribe or like button if you haven't, because we have the most memeable bowling ball of the year. This was my personal favorite award, just based on funny purposes, really, is the only reason. But let's look at the nominees for our most memeable ball of 2025. Now, we only have 5 in here because there were not many memeable bowling balls that were on this list. Moan over on Facebook, the IQ78 unfortunately came out last year. Otherwise, it would have been on here. And Llama, unfortunately, Pyramid is not on here as well. We did not include Pyramid because these were all made before I drilled the dumpster fire. That is the Pyramid Prime Solid. Make sure to set an alarm tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. I have my review of that ball and some discussion on if off-brand bowling balls are worth it or not. You're going to want to stay tuned for that one. I think it's going to be my most disliked video ever because I might take a shot or two at some companies. I might have some people coming at me after that one. But no, not Waterworld, Ken, but that is also an awful movie. No, that movie is terrible. And yeah, no swag as well. Swag is just not big enough quite yet. They have a very much like tiny but cult following, so we didn't include any swag stuff on here. However, that might have been on here for some of the most memeable balls. How is the Gremlin not on here? That one wasn't really too memeable to a certain degree. Yes, like Lordfield JP. But let's go here to these 5 bowling balls and talk about why they're on this list. Coming in first, Radical Torpedo Direct Hit. This ball was so bad and so made fun of that it made an entire YouTuber quit. Bowler's Paradise, Ben from Bowler's Paradise, quit ball reviews because of not because of the Torpedo Direct Hit fully, but he gave some kudos, some reasoning for quitting to the Torpedo Direct Hit. Because he said, I believe I might be misquoting this. I won't have the exact quote, but his reasoning was the companies are putting out garbage like that is so niche and just there to garner sales. So that is why the Direct Hit is on here. And as you know, if you're a fan of the channel, I bought this ball for my 10,000 subscriber special. I compared the IQ78 to the Direct Hit because I think those are 2 of the worst bowling balls on the market. And I did not like this ball. I have thrown it at League a couple of times. I have it behind me yet. But yeah, I didn't like that one much. Looking at the next one though, the Radical Evil Eye. This ball is still being touted by Radical social media pages as ball of the year. This ball, ironically, in a very funny way, this ball was had a lot of chips put onto it, and then it did not deliver when it mattered most. So a lot of people here know the YouTuber Brunsnick, who is an employee at Brunswick Bowling. He had a Radical Evil Eye. He called it ball of the year. He touted it. A lot of people called it ball of the year. He ended up shooting like 520 in League the very next night with it, which was kind of funny. And a lot of people started throwing it like, ugh, this ball might not be it. A lot of people here do really like that ball, but yeah, it deserves a spot on here because it was touted as ball of the year very, very hard. And then here it is. But next up is the Storm Identity. The Storm Identity really deserves to be on here because of the antics that Storm pulled. They released a very unique bowling ball where there was only a select amount made and they were selling for a really high price with the original Identity. That's the colorway you're going to see here. But then 3 months later, they released another colorway, same exact core, same exact cover, but it was really bad timing because then they touted this ball was a one-time make only. Psych! It isn't a one-time make. We're releasing another one. And then Belmo had a post about how everyone who doesn't like the ball is a hater to him and hates two-handed bowling or something. So the Identity really deserves a spot because it was just such a bad play. Coming in next is a Storm Level. The Level was supposed to be the most innovative and greatest thing on the market. Storm created an entirely new department called the lab department for this ball, and it flopped a little bit hard. Flopped very, very hard. This ball is on sale right now, but it isn't being discontinued, probably because of the urethane potential ban coming soon. And finally, the Motive Ascend. Motive, in all honesty, did not have much that could go on this list. They didn't really have anything that's very memeable. But the Ascend is kind of funny because it was released like a year or two ago. It was announced, it was released overseas. It was like, it's coming stateside. Motive's going to have entry-level equipment. I think I heard about this 8 months before it made it to the States. And then it just never made it over here. It was like, is it here yet? No. Is it here yet? No. Is it here yet? No. It was like more of an urban legend for a while. But it did end up making it over here, but that ball did still make it on most memeable bowling ball. Let me scroll over. I saw a lot of really funny comments in there. I did see Bowling Fool. He drilled a second one to prove how good it was. That did happen. Yes. I liked this ball so much. I need to drill a second one just to prove that it's good. Evil is a candidate for everything. We see Level is a great ball for high friction. Absolutely. These bowling balls have purposes. This isn't the worst ball of the year list by any means. But this is just ones that are so easy to make fun of because of situations surrounding them. Direct hit, of course, it's a plastic ball, basically. I know I'll have some people get mad. It's not a plastic ball. It's basically a plastic ball. Low friction cover that doesn't absorb oil and actually is banned for any urethane ban discussions. Evil Eye, of course. Yeah, you're supposed to drill it 10 different. That's a perfect comment from Too Tall. You're supposed to buy 10 Evil Eyes, drill it 10 different layouts on the drill sheet, and at least one of them will look good. Exactly. It's hilarious. The identity, obviously, we know why it deserves here. But anyways, let's go through the votes. I could spend all day on the most memeable category. This is going to be a fun one for future years. Yeah, the Apex Jackal might have a way on this next year. But looking at the list, we had a very clear front runner. We all know and love this ball on this channel. The winner of the most memeable ball of 2025 is the Torpedo Direct Hit. The very, very much plastic bowling ball has the largest core of any plastic ball in history. And this one is not up to snuff for a lot of people. I personally hate mine. Mine flares around the entire ball. A lot of guys really like it for those high friction centers, which is awesome, but it is just a ball that's very funny to make fun of because somebody quit YouTube because of it when it came out, which is hilarious. But the Direct Hit ended up winning. This was not surprising, probably a little bit of bias because a lot of people who voted follow me in some way, shape, or form, and we've pooped on this ball a couple of times in the past. But it did come in with 401 of the 969 total responses. So 41.4% of the votes went to the Direct Hit. Coming in second, unsurprisingly, is the Storm Identity, which makes perfect sense. Again, the Identity coming in second. Coming in third place was the Evil Eye, actually. Wow, really? I didn't know that. Okay. The Evil Eye coming in third place with 15.6% of the votes, 151 picks. 13.2% came in the Storm Level. And then unsurprisingly, because we needed a motive ball on here and they didn't really have much memeable, the Ascend only got 26 votes. Congratulations to the Ascend for being the least memeable ball on our list. But the Torpedo Direct Hit and the Evil Eye ended up being up there along with the Identity, with the Direct Hit taking the cake. I see a congratulations to Radical. I see Torpedo. Big B, Torpedo away, and CJ is quitting the chat because of this ball. Ooh, Lucas isn't happy that people are voting on the level. It was only 128 people. That's all. Let's go back to the main screen quick. And let's put the Direct Hit where it belongs, in its most memeable bowling ball of the year category. Congratulations to the Torpedo Direct Hit. That is awesome. Good parking lot warm-up ball. That's a good idea, actually. That's a great idea. But those were the most memeable balls. Now, again, I think Andrew says it well. I thought the Identity was most memeable, but Torpedo is a worse ball. No, the Identity is honestly a really good ball. That's the biggest problem with that Identity. It is really good. I would recommend it to a lot of people. It just was not well done. So a little bit of story time on that ball. So I work at a pro shop. So I've talked to a lot of pro shop guys, especially through the channel. And the Identity, the original one, pro shops bought up as many as they could. They thought that ball would be a lights out seller. People had it. They weren't really getting rid of them as quickly as they thought. And then the purple one came out a couple of months later. And pro shops like, oh, we're still not through our first batch, but let's buy a bunch of the second batch to see what happens. And pro shops are still stuck with both of them. I believe my pro shop finally got rid of our last original green identity, but the purple one is still around everywhere. Bowler's Mart was actually selling it for $100 for a second. It was a very quick sale they did, but you could buy an identity for $100, which is crazy because they probably bought the ball for $160. So they're taking a $60 loss on purpose just to get rid of their identity BCPs. So crazy, absolutely crazy thing about that one. But that is everything for the most memeable bowling ball of the year. My personal favorite category. I'm so excited to see what gets to make this category in future years because we will be trying to continue the award show in the coming years. But with that, we are on to our final two categories where we have two really, really good categories. These are going to be great bowling balls in each of them. We have the best symmetrical ball of 2025, and then we have the coveted Bowling Ball of the Year award, which is all of these fan voted by you guys. Corey bought it for $100. There you go. But let's check out the best symmetrical ball of 2025. Here we have 8 bowling balls from all of the big brands. You can get identity for $70. That's insane. That is insane. But, oh, don't worry. Radical's not closing down anytime soon. That's never going to happen. Brunswick isn't going to shut any of those brands down. That's never happening. But let's look at our best symmetrical balls of the year. Starting off on the left side, we start with all the Brunswick bowling balls. We have the Alert. Of course, the Alert made a massive surge in the last half of the year. Ironically, coming out at the same time as the Evil Eye, which is a couple slots next to it. And we get to actually pit them against each other after release. So we pitted these against each other before release. And the Evil Eye ended up winning the vote on our YouTube page to see which one is best. So that was pretty crazy to see that the Evil Eye was much more popular before release, but we're going to see what happens after release now. We have the Alert, medium smooth, really good bowling ball. Coming in, Crown Victory, the quickest bowling ball on the market, the quickest down lane. You're going to see a lot of snap from this ball. Hybrid, symmetrical, honestly, really good piece. Highly recommend if you want some skid snap in your lineup. Moving on is the Evil Eye. We've talked about the Evil Eye a ton already. It is a symmetrical ball that the second you put holes into it becomes very, very asymmetrical. This ball is really a strong and smooth bowling ball, but is a symmetrical ball at the end of the day. It's a slightly stronger stealth mode, slightly stronger GB5, all those things. And a lot of people do really like it. Max Thrill Hybrid and the Steel Forge coming up next. Two of Motive's best symmetrical balls. Motive didn't have many symmetrical releases this year. They had very, very few, and the Nebula just hasn't been around long enough yet to be able to warrant that being on the list, which is a little bit unfortunate. I think if this happened maybe a month later, the Nebula might have taken the place over the Steel Forge, but the Max Thrill Hybrid we've talked about a lot. I believe this is the third award the Max Thrill Hybrid was nominated for, and then the Steel Forge making its first appearance on the show tonight. Coming in from the Storm Camp, they had a lot of fire symmetrical bowling balls this year. Their Phase 2 Pearl coming in as a late entry, coming out on Black Friday this year, not having much time in the limelight yet, but that ball sold out in so many different places. I remember hearing about so many pro shops that weekend selling 50 to 100 units of the Phase 2 Pearl. They just bought mountains of them and they got rid of them in heartbeats. Absolutely nutty on that ball. Rockstar Amped, which already won for Best Sleeper Ball of the Year, is coming in as the best symmetrical ball. Even though it doesn't get much love compared to the Phase 2 Pearl, it is overall a really, really good ball. It is pretty much the Phase 2 Pearl, but with a different logo on it in a lot of ways. And then finally, the High Road 40. High Road always deserves a spot on a list for best bowling balls of the year. High Road is the longest running bowling ball on the market today. High Road 40 is basically just a recreation of the High Road Pearl, slightly stronger cover stock, but still with that original High Road core, not AI core like that was in the Road Warrior. A lot of people didn't like that much. This is Minto over on TikTok. Zero Mercy Solid is awesome. Yes. And here we go. We had 8 fantastic bowling balls on this list. Let me scroll up to find my best symmetrical ball. This one got a little bit close. This one got a little closer than I would have expected. Wow. Okay. Looking at the votes entirely. I did not try looking into many of these votes before we started today. So you're going to see me be a little bit surprised at these last couple. But a little bit surprising here. Let's talk about it. The winner of the best symmetrical ball of 2025 is... I was trying to add some suspense. Phase 2 Pearl. Storm Phase 2 Pearl is winning best symmetrical ball of the year. Unsurprisingly, the Phase 2 Pearl is the first true Pearl version of the original Phase 2, one of the greatest bowling balls of all time. A lot of people's favorite ball of the year for many, many years. One of the top sellers is the original Phase 2, where now they made a true Pearl counterpart that does act the most like a Pearl Phase 2 that we've ever seen. The Phase 3, 4, 5, and AI really weren't up to snuff. They would not have made a best ball of the year list. The Phase 2 Pearl has been really, really good so far for so many people. We got a lot of boos. We got a lot of this got to be glaze. I promise you guys, this is all user voted. We will look at the results after we're done here so that you guys can see that I'm not lying about any of these. But yes, the Phase 2 Pearl did end up winning 228 total votes for the Phase 2 Pearl. Now, something to remember about this is the Phase 2 Pearl does have a recency bias. Recency bias plays a very, very important role in a lot of these voting things because the newer thing usually does end up making it. Timothy, Outer Limits Solid must be best color. Hey, the people voted that the Outer Limits is not the best colored ball. But the Phase 2 Pearl does have recency bias, does win best symmetrical ball based on the voters. Now, what did I personally vote for? What did I personally vote for? I think I picked the Alert. Yeah, I picked the Alert on this list. I think the Alert is the best. It hasn't been around as much as well, but that ball is insane. But that's what I voted for personally. But coming in second was the Rockstar Amped at 159 total votes. Then moving into third was the Crown Victory, actually, was the #1 Brunswick ball of the year voted on by you guys, was the Crown Victory. Coming in right after it, though, with only 8 less votes, was the Alert. So the Skid Snap version, I really see the Crown Victory and Alert playing really well off of each other. If you want one of the best 1-2 combos in that symmetrical range, I think the Alert into the Crown Victory is an insane lineup to have. Highly recommend. Really, really cheap, by the way, as well, which is a really big winner here. But going down the rest of the list, we have, oh, hey, that ball didn't take long. We have at 9.3% of the votes, the Max Thrill Hybrid being the #1 motive ball. I Road 40 coming in 9 votes below the Max Thrill Hybrid. Coming in the second to last spot is the Radical Evil Eye. So I would like to direct this directly at Radical Bowling's social media page. The Evil Eye is not ball of the year. I am very sorry. The hashtag BOTY did not work at all. It took second last place, only in best symmetrical ball, not even ball of the year. Very sad to see that. But then in last place, actually, by 6 votes, is the Motive Steel Forge. That one was unfortunately a little bit of a stretch. Like I said, Motive didn't have much for symmetrical balls this year, but the Steel Forge ended up taking last place in our best symmetrical bowling balls. So let's see, how are people's reactions to it? The poor Alert, it had no chance when a hype version of a GOAT is released. That's one of the hardest things, is that yeah, I mean, you had the next version of the GOAT ball. You had the greatest ball. That's like if you release a Pearl IQ. It's like when you release, I mean, a Black Widow Mania or a new Black Widow when the Black Widow 2.0 came out. The lines just do so much better in that way. Let's see, what else do we have here? Llama, good for the Rockstar Amped. Agreed. I'm very glad the Rockstar Amped got more love than I expected. I didn't think the Rockstar Amped was very well liked by a lot of people, so I'm very excited to see that ball did well. Some people are thinking Nebula should have made it. Some people are saying it was way too soon to have this ball win. But I think recency bias played a really big part in it. I think recency bias was very important, but that's okay. A vote is a vote. A win is a win. So the Phase 2 Pearl, we are going to mark as the best symmetrical ball of 2025. That is 8 total winners right now. 8 total awards have been given out, 8 winners, and we have 1 more final award to give out, the Bowling Ball of the Year. This one's a big one. Now, what I want to do is, I think we'll wait, actually. We'll wait to showcase the results, to just show I'm not lying about any of this stuff. I want to prove that just in case. I've had a lot of haters in the comments lately. If you guys have watched my last couple of videos, there's one man who has commented about 10 times on a lot of my videos, just yelling at me. So I want to be able to showcase that at the end of this. Heavy Storm bias from the voters. Yeah, that is one other thing, is a lot of people will vote for their favorite brand. Storm is still the most popular brand on the lineup. So the High Road 40 ended up finishing in 5th place, right? Yes. The High Road 40 was 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 6th place. Sorry. 6th of 8. 6th of 8 was the High Road 40. But finally, we have the bowling ball of the year. Let me get to my right standings. This one is baffling to me. Spareware, thank you for all the gifts. Really appreciate it. This one is baffling. We're going to move over to our bowling ball of the year chart. Here we are. We have infinite number of options. By infinite, I mean 75 exactly. Total options that people could have voted for. This was an open field. So I did not pick nominees for ball of the year. This was based on you guys, the voters, on what you think was bowling ball of the year. So overall, we had, that's very ironic. We had really 70, technically 74 total bowling balls got votes. That's kind of crazy. Huh. Yeah. 74 bowling balls got votes. No, wait. Yeah, 74. Huh. 74 bowling balls got votes. That's kind of nuts. That's kind of crazy. 74 bowling balls got votes. 75 balls were released this year. Almost every single ball in the market was somebody's favorite bowling ball. Now, what I want to do before we start is I need to show you guys one of the votes. This was by a wonderful bowler who does not follow the rules very well. One bowling ball on this list got one vote. It was the Brunswick Tenacity from about 8 years ago, received one single vote by a certain Wisconsin man who said, and I quote, "I don't play by your year rules, sir." Now, this was my favorite vote of all 500 plus votes that ended up voting for ball of the year. That one was fantastic. That one was incredible. Shout out to the man who wrote that. I know who it is, but I won't dox you. I know he's going to send his lawyers after me if I do. But thank you so much for voting for the Brunswick Tenacity, winning as a fantastic option. I'm going to run through a couple of balls that only received a singular vote. Yes, a write-in. So a couple of bowling balls that did not get much love and attention this year. Heckler Hybrid got one. Mantra Solid. Severe Collision. Troublemaker Solid. Deviate was very much, did not get much love. We had the Stealth Mode only getting one vote. That one was a little bit unfortunate. A little bit surprising. Paragon Shadow getting 2 votes. Black Dragon Pearl. There was one vote getting for a swag bowling ball. 515 total votes. One vote was for a swag ball. So when I say that swag isn't that popular, this is really what I mean. Swag just does not have that popularity yet to be able to use in a lot of situations. So the Black Dragon is the only ball to get a vote from swag bowling. Otherwise, we had the Intel Recon, we had the Outer Limit Solid, the Raptor Rain, the Lethal Venom, the Jackal EJ. Surprisingly, we had the Aspire, got one vote. So if you guys don't know, the Motive Aspire is Motive's new spare ball. So someone is really good with their spares. Yeah, kind of surprising. Kind of surprising on that one that someone picked that, but you know, they probably really like that spare ball. I love that for them. So let's go now kind of to the middle of the camp. These are balls that did not end up making the top 20, but did get a handful of votes. Zen 25 getting 5 votes. That was really cool to see. Brunswick Energize getting 5. The Nebula only got 5 votes. So I know a lot of people are talking about it here, but a little bit surprising. That ball didn't get much love. Bubblegum Vibe only got a handful of votes. Makes sense. Low end balls generally don't get it. GB5 Pearl only got 4 votes out of 515. Very, very few votes. New 2.0 ended up getting 3 votes. The Combat only got 3 votes. The Torpedo Direct Hit did get 2 votes. So shout out to probably Ryan from Discord and maybe one other person who voted for the Torpedo Direct Hit as their ball of the year. Scrolling up the list, we have things like the Cove with 6 votes, the Hammerhead with 6 votes, and the IQAI with 6 votes. Those all came in at 21st place. But without further ado, we've talked about all the losers. We have a lot of other winners on here that we'll talk about after. But what is Bowling Ball of the Year for 2025? This is a ball that everyone, again, expects to win, and it won by an insanely large margin. 87 total votes out of 515 votes in total came for this bowling ball. And the Bowling Ball of the Year, congratulations to Motive Bowling for the Evoke Hysteria winning bowling ball of the year. Community choice ZVL ball of the year is the Evoke Hysteria. As I mentioned earlier, the Evoke Hysteria ended up being the PBA Dominator ball, especially for the World Series of Bowling, winning 3 separate titles, won a couple of other titles throughout the year, a lot of big amateur titles, also won with this ball, a lot of 300s. This is just deemed as a fantastic ball for so many bowlers out there. Unsurprising to see this ball win. Like I said, 87 votes. Number 2 only got 35 votes, just to put it into perspective of how much people love this Evoke Hysteria. The Hysteria got 52 more votes, over double more votes than the second place winner. Absolutely insane for you guys. You guys came out in droves. The motive heads were out here. They were ready. They were voting. They wanted their Evoke to win, which is amazing. This ball is really good. You will never see this ball go on sale. You will probably never see this ball end up being discontinued for quite a while at least. I know Motive has been in my Instagram like section quite a lot lately. Motive, if you're out there, congratulations. You guys deserve this Ball of the Year award for winning with the Evoke Hysteria. That is, I believe, your guys' 3rd of 9 awards tonight. Congratulations to you guys. I do see someone saying, I thought Ball of the Year would be the Apex Solid. I know, crazy, right? That ball surprisingly didn't get a vote. Wild. Wild. But let's go through a couple of the other winners. We have the Ion Pro Solid coming in at 35 total votes, tied for it. This one was nuts. Tied for second place is the Rockstar. Not the Amped, the Rockstar. The Rotogrip Rockstar Solid. Second place, tied for the Ion Pro Solid. Wild, absolutely wild. I didn't think the Rockstar was that well liked. And it took second. Congratulations to the Rockstar. Nevin over in Alexandria. I hope you're watching this. Congratulations to you. I know you did complain to me that the Rockstar was not on the list, and apparently it should have been. I think you were correct, good sir. I greatly apologize to you. I will hug you next time I see you. But the Rockstar coming in at tied for second place. Coming in at 4th place then is the Black Widow Mania. Black Widow Mania got 32 votes, so 3 votes away from that tie. That is the number 1 Brunswick ball on the list, was the Black Widow Mania. Coming in next, Equinox Solid, surprisingly in 5th place. Very surprising to see that. Good for that. Good for the Equinox Solid. I didn't think that ball got much love and attention, but apparently a couple of people out there like it. And coming in next, 16 votes, was the Phase 2 Pearl, tied with the Black Widow Tour. Coming in 6th place. Coming in 8th place, Brunswick Alert. RST Hyperdrive Solid coming in next. Then the Equinox and the Crown Victory tied together. Gremlin coming in next. And then we have the Theorem Solid, the Typhoon, the Rockstar Amped, the Jackalonics, the Zero Mercy Solid, all tying together with 9 total votes each. There are a lot of crazy bowling balls that made this list. I see Revs on the left. B7 hate is unreal. I don't know if it's B7 hate, really. I think it's just they aren't getting that love that they might even deserve. I had a lot of Brunswick balls as some of my top options this year. If you guys watch my personal list, Evoke Hysteria definitely deserves number 1, but I think there's a lot of really good Brunswick balls that were released this year. A lot of duds, but a lot of really good bowling balls. So really excited, really glad to see a couple of those end up making the top 5 and even the top 10 on the ball list. I think this is the best year Brunswick would have had in the last 10 years if we would have been doing this award show much more often. Brunswick is really surging in that popularity a lot more, so it's really good to see that extra competition going on. A big congratulations to Motive with the Evoke Hysteria. Let's go back to our main page. There we go. How are duplicate votes handled? Dotch. So there, you could not vote twice unless you used a different device. That was the way that you could vote multiple times on this poll. Google was supposed to lock you out if you tried voting twice, unless you used different account, if you used a different device, whatever it may be. Mitch, man, I'm here between periods. Hey, awesome. Perfect. You get to see the final part. All of our award winners are on the screen right now. Big congratulations to all of those that won. Looking at the total votes, we had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 votes for the, was it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 votes. Zach can't count today. 5 total votes for the Storm brands. We had 3 votes for the Motive brand, and we had 1 win for Brunswick, ironically for the Torpedo Direct Hit, one of their weirdest bowling balls of the year. So I do want to show you guys everything that I have in here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go to our full screen. We're going to go there, and we're going to show my face. Hi there. How you guys doing? But I wanted to show you guys all of what we had. I shouldn't have anything here that can actually dox me. So as I said, 1,021 responses. Somebody responded during the stream, so congratulations to that person. But as we saw, best asymmetrical coming in, Motive Evoke Hysteria, 318 total votes. Community choice, this is all of the responses. A lot of you out there aren't very good at spelling, so that was a big thing to be aware of. A lot of you weren't big at spelling in a couple of these things. But symmetrical ball ended up being the phase 2 Pearl. As we saw, second place was the Rockstar Amped. Coming in at best bang for your buck. This one, like I said, was close. Max Thrill Hybrid, though, winning number 1. Bubblegum Vibe coming in at number 2. Number 3 was the Gremlin. Best color was barely won by the Ion Pro Solid at 190. 186 was the Jackal EJ. So like I said, I was not lying on this one. Was not lying at all. Logo and branding, we have the Gremlin coming in number 1 by a wide margin. Next up, biggest sleeper ball. Like I said, this one was close. We had the Rockstar Amped now at 213, and we had the Viking at 208. So there are 5 total votes breaking those two apart. Kind of crazy how close it got. Memeable ball winning by the biggest margin is the Torpedo Directed. Unsurprisingly. Height versus reality finally was the physics blackout coming in first place. So let's go back to the main screen. I wanted to showcase that just so you guys were aware that I am not lying in any way, shape, or form. So with that, that concludes our Bowling Ball Award Show. I will be hanging out for a little bit before we end up closing the stream just to see what you guys all thought of anything. But what were your thoughts on our award show? What were your thoughts on our first year of trying this out? What would you like to see next year? What would you not like to see? Was I a bad host? Was I not? Pokemon damage charts are OP. You saw that? Yeah, I have the Pokemon damage calc on my bar. I haven't touched my bar in quite a while. I have my car loan on there. I have E-Trade. I have YouTube, Twitch, of course. Yeah. What were you guys' thoughts? What do you guys think of these awards? It's a little bit crazy to see what won. From what I'm hearing, I think Charles, Ron, and Luke are slightly getting out of the Motive Factory for their reviews on the Apex Jackal. Really send your thoughts their way. I really hope they can get out of the hole that they put themselves in by talking bad about the Apex. I love using that as a joke because they all really did not like that ball. They did not like that ball at all. You're saying Aaron's saying include urethane. The biggest problem with the urethane is there weren't many urethane balls released this year. I think we only had the Crown 78 as the only true urethane ball that was released in 2025. And that one was released in December. But we had 0 urethanes. We had a couple urethane-like bowling balls. We had the new 2.0, we had the Shadow Tank, and I think that's it. The Level, technically, but that was it, unfortunately. So we didn't have much for urethane. So if urethane doesn't get banned this coming season, then maybe we'll end up having some best urethane or urethane-like categories. I hear Motive hired the Boeing hit squad. Need a category for what ball works on the Bolero crab oil. Unfortunately, I don't bowl at Bolero, so I'm not a very good option for that. But I know Chris Barnes is bowling on that right now, and he has a lot of opinions on that. I recommend the Beef and Barnesy show. They do a great job. Chris is, of course, insanely smart. Stu is insanely smart. They have some awesome guests. I'm currently halfway through listening to their interview with Hank Boomershine. That dude is a genius when it comes to ball design. It's very fun to hear. But it sounds like a lot of pretty positive things overall. Really excited to hear that total. I see we need a red carpet with celebrity presenters. So I do want to admit, if I can get this going earlier next year, I would like to include some creators on here. I would like to include some pros. I will give you guys a little teaser that there's something coming in January of 26 where you might see me talking to a couple of these bigger names. There might be some stuff in the works, talking to a couple pros, maybe a couple creators. We'll see. Maybe we'll be able to make some connections to be able to get them on sometime sooner rather than later. Abe, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate it, Abe. Thank you for hanging in the whole time, man. I saw you here the whole time. Love to see it. Bring in like a Norm Duke. Exactly. I would really love to bring in different people for each category. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the pros will not be able to because it'd be really weird. I don't think Norm Duke could probably give an award to like a Brunswick bowling ball. So that's the one negative. That's why it's nice for somebody who's not tied up to any company to do it. But I would like to have like maybe like a Charles from the Hype, a Ron, a Luke, people like that who aren't chained up to one brand, who can actually, you know, they would be able to give a ball out to anybody. But I know those guys do their own kind of award type things. So, yeah, of course, we'll always let them do their thing. But I would like to make this like a larger community-wide thing compared to just the ZVL community. I wanted as many bowlers as possible to vote for this thing from all different walks. I wanted the league bowlers, the open bowlers. I wanted the pros. I wanted everybody to jump on here. I see Mark Baker. That would be awesome. That would be great. Brennan going to buy a Rockstar Solid this weekend. Nice. Yeah, Hyperdrive Pearl would fit really well with it. Let's see. Alan, gray board, don't hook. Best meme ball was the original pyramid you threw. Yeah. This is what you're gonna see tomorrow in a video is the worst bowling ball of 2025. I didn't have a worst ball of the year category. I don't know if there's really much that actually wants to fit there. But this is by far and away the worst ball of the year. This ball sucks. It is gross. It doesn't absorb oil very quickly. It gets super slimy. It doesn't want to hook. It's like a reactive urethane, but in a bad way, not in a good way, like the Tank Blitz. But you're going to see a video tomorrow where I actually have a full review. You're going to see me throw a lot of shots with it. You're going to see me 210 a lot with that bowling ball. So many times. George, how about picking a random winner from each category who voted to announce the winner in that category? That'd be kind of cool. There's a lot. The one hard thing, the more people you bring, especially like, if they aren't people with setups, is, you gotta be able to coordinate like when they come on, things like that. So that's why you see a lot of award shows, like even the game awards or, the streamer awards that end up not being the best because there's so many things you have to coordinate at the same time, which is unfortunate. But let's see, what else do we got for it? Playful. I feel like Brunswick doesn't get the same kind of fanboy. Seems like more bowlers will only throw Motive or only throw Storm. I don't see many non-staffers who only throw B7. No, but what you do, actually, I will challenge that by saying I think Hammer itself, not Brunswick, but Hammer specifically has the hardest core fan base in bowling outside of Motive. I think it goes Motive is number one, and then Hammerheads come in at number two. They don't buy other balls, just Hammer bowling balls, because Hammer has so much. Hammer ends up getting some of the best sales in the industry solely because of that. So I think Hammerheads actually are that, but you're right that there aren't really that many people who only throw Brunswick stuff that aren't on staff with them. So that's a little bit surprising. Usually the guys who buy a lot of that general Brunswick stuff, like kind of buy a little bit from Storm, a little bit from Motive, a little bit from Brunswick. That's kind of the category that I fell in for the longest time, is like, I never threw just Brunswick once I could buy my own equipment and I didn't have to like rely on people giving it to me. I threw a little bit of everything and kind of just what's good compared to only throwing Brunswick or something like that. Do interchangeable thumb grips matter, JR? Absolutely they do. They are very useful if you have more than like 4 kinds of bowling balls. I think the only way you could have staffers if we had like a best Motive ball and best Storm ball. That would about be the only way. That's the one negative, is that the only way to actually have, yeah, like here's the best ball of the year, but here's a Motive staffer talking about the Motive stuff where they don't mention the other stuff. That's the one negative. So there aren't many of us like me who aren't, who don't have a brand that they are committed to by any means. Lindy, lots of fun. You dressed up for the occasion. Thank you. Yeah, I had to look. I actually Googled right before this. Like, I was going to wear a gray suit, but I was like, oh, what do award show hosts actually wear? And it is the full black coat, white undershirt, and then the black tie, a full black tie event, which is pretty cool. I had to force myself to buy a non-hammer ball. There you go. Exactly. There's a lot of big hammer. Yeah, Brian, big hammer fan. There's a lot of people who buy just hammer because they have so many good bowling balls and their brand covers a little bit of everything. Hammer is the only brand from B7 that actually has something in almost every single category, which is pretty cool. Brunswick is actually close now just because they released those danger zones. Otherwise, they really didn't have much for weaker equipment minus the rhinos, and those really aren't worth it if you're a consistent bowler. They're usually a little bit too weak for most people. Nothing hits like a hammer. And they have, yeah, you'd be surprised at how well like those little slogans end up going. Like Storm, the Bowlers Company, Hammer, nothing hits like a hammer, Motive. Get motivated. Get motivated. That one's actually pretty decent. But then like, I mean, Deviate has damn good bowling. Radical. Wow, it's Radical, I think is theirs. I don't know Columbia. I don't know Track. I don't know any of those. I don't know if they even have one. Shiny Suit. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is one of my oldest. I think this is the one I interviewed in back for work 6 years ago. Evoke Hysteria versus Apex Jackal for Beck's Ball. No. Apex Jackal is on the actually opposite of that list. If you're, it's kind of funny talking about the Apex Jackal quick. Just talking about a minute. I know we lost about 100 people because we ended the show, but that's okay. The Apex Jackal by non-motive staffers is hated. Motive staffers adore that ball. Non-motive staffers despise that ball. Very unfortunate. RJ, hey JR Pro Shop, how much did Phil bribe you to test out the snapshot? I don't think, I don't think Ryan's here right now. Not that I saw, at least. Could have everyone rank categories next year instead of just picking one. Do like a tiered listing, like a 1, 2, 3 option. I think that can happen. I have to check, like, I need to see like what the best way to do the polls was. I was kind of running out of time, so I just picked Google Forms for this one because it seemed like the best. But we'll have to see if there's other options for that kind of category. I feel like there will be. But I don't know. Robin Moda's motto is made in the USA. Absolutely. Rev's pyramid slogan, your refund is ready. And that's where my video tomorrow might get me hated on by the pyramid community, which is going to be a little unfortunate, but that's okay. That is a-okay. They couldn't pay me to throw an Apex Jackal. Would Evoke Hysteria be a ball up from the one reverb? No, it'll kind of be like a ball sideways from it. I think next year you need a custom blazer for this. Ooh, we could make that happen. Spareware. Make sure to go check them out. Greg, bowl the world over is Columbia's. You're right. Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it is bowl the world over. I see Clash over on TikTok as a Tour V1 good. Yeah, the Tour V1's really good. Absolutely really good. Pyramid has a community. They do. I found out because I posted short form videos saying this is the worst ball I've ever thrown. And they got a lot of views and there was a lot of hate. I think the top one was like, I think it was user error. And then it said, I've thrown 800s with this pyramid ball. And it was, I think, the Fortress or something. And he was not a fan of that. Not a fan that I didn't like the pyramid balls. Maybe toss in favorite brand of the year. That one is always tough. Like favorite brand, I thought about it, but then it ended up being like, that would just be a popularity contest between the three. And most of the time Storm is going to win. But if you do like all the brands separately, like you have Storm, you have Roto, you have Global, you have Motive, I think Motive would end up winning. Torrent saw someone use a sous vide to de-oil rejuvenate a ball. Interesting. I've never heard of that. It'd be cool. I don't believe you. Oh, got to go third period. All right. Thank you, Mitch, man, for hanging out. Really appreciate it. C Lance. Yeah, Pyramid does have a community. Tiny, but it does have a community. It did get some sales. I think their $100 sale really helped because ironically, as I finished drilling my pyramid ball, somebody actually brought theirs into the pro shop to get drilled. And I feel so bad for that person. So bad for that. Alan, most hated award. I thought about most hated, but I didn't really know how to run it because I want to keep it positive-ish. Like, of course, I want to have the funny ones, but I want to keep it positive-ish in a lot of ways. Like, I don't want to there's too many, like, negative Nancys in the bowling community. I know I just saw, unfortunately, something from Sweep the Rack who hurts more than they help, talking about how they said anybody who bowls 2 to 3 leagues a week needs to get a hobby, I think was their phrase. So I don't recommend those guys, but I want to stay away from that, like, super negative, bad stuff and kind of stay with more positivity like what we had here tonight. 3 is a community. 3 is indeed a community. But opinion on the dark side. Dark side's really good. It actually was in our best logo category. Really good ball, though. Most Wayne. Oh, Wayne. Shout out Pyramid. Yeah, shout out the 3 people in the Pyramid community. But this was really fun. This was awesome. I really enjoyed this, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this series, this award show. I put a lot of work in. I think this whole weekend was spent just making all these slides that you just saw with all the balls on it, making sure they all fit into the right spots. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that. It was this was fun to do. I was really looking forward to this for the last couple of weeks. I'm really glad we had so many people. This is actually our most watched stream ever now. we reached our peak of 464 total viewers. So I want to give a big thank you to everybody who hopped in tonight. That was insane to see how many people jumped in for the Bowling Ball Awards. You guys showed so much love. I can't say it enough how much I appreciate everybody who watches these. You guys are incredible. You guys really showcase how awesome the bowling community is. I know there's a lot of hate that gets thrown around, but I love to see how much love there truly is in this community and how much you guys just enjoy talking about this game, learning about this game, joking about this game, whatever it may be. It's really helped me be able to make this. I mean, hopefully a full-time career sometime in the near future would be the goal, but we'll see what the cards have for us. But I think with that, we are going to call it a stream. I want to thank each and every one of you again. Thank you so much. Make sure to drop a subscription or a follow on your way out the door. I really appreciate it. We are going to be live. We are not going to be live next week. It is Christmas week, so we are going to have no live stream. It's going to be our first week of no live stream in about 3 months, actually 3 months. So we are going to have no live stream next week. We'll be back on New Year's Eve talking everything bowling, seeing everything that's going on. We'll also be live on New Year's Day to talk about Brunswick's announcement on January 1st. They have a big Innovate announcement coming. So we are going to be live streaming that event. We're going to be giving a reaction stream. I believe it's at like noon or 11 a.m. Central Time, something like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Steven, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Awesome job. Thank you so much for watching, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, every single person. Who did I say? I meant Storm, whoever I said before. I already forgot. My mind is a blender right now. I want to thank you guys, though. TikTok, I'm going to say goodbye to you first. TikTok, you guys were awesome tonight. Thank you all so much. TikTok, I will see you later. Bye-bye. All right, we are done with the TikTok side. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. We have a video coming out tomorrow. Otherwise, like I said, 2 weeks, we'll be back on Wednesdays, on our typical Wednesdays, for a lot of fun live stream times. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you over on the next one.